graduates in just a few moments, but first it is my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Rawan Albdeiri, who will be presenting a speech to commemorate the day. Rawan is originally from Iraq, but grew up a Texan in Rockwall. She is graduating with a degree in government and 4 minors. She has served in the Texas State Capitol, the U.S. Senate, and on multiple political campaigns. During her time at UT Austin, Albdeiri has emerged as a transformative force in advocacy, testifying before the Texas Supreme Court for foster care reform. Her legislative passions are driven by the recognition that while many admit the system is broken, few take action to repair it. As a passionate leader and a Tidna International, she has been a nationally recognized voice for peace, appearing in media outlets including ABC News. She is fluent in Arabic, American Sign Language, and English, and believes in bridging divides through language and restoring kindness when it is denied through communication. Rawan, congratulations on your graduation, and welcome to the podium.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello is actually ni hao in Chinese, salam in Arabic, shalom in Hebrew, privyet in Russian, habari or jambo in Swahili, hi in ASL, my favorite language, which by the way you'll be seeing more of soon, and of course there's hey y'all in Texan. So hey y'all, my name is Rawan Albdeiri and I'm graduating tonight on the pre-law track to becoming a lawyer. During my time at UT studying the law, I've learned that I have to give credit where credit is due. So I do want to give a couple shout outs before officially starting this speech. Shout out to the turtles at the turtle pond. Yeah. Shout out to Costco for fueling my shopping addiction. Costco, if y'all see this and would like to offer me a 6-figure job, I would not say no. Shout out to Chick-fil-A for being the reason college students do not starve. But I do want to take this moment to call out the ones on campus for charging college students for extra sauce. Shame on y'all, shame. And while I'm at it, shout out to Katy Perry for going to space and becoming an astronaut in 10 whole minutes. With that logic, after graduating tonight with a bachelor's degree in government, please consider me a Supreme Court justice. I would now only like to be referred to as the Honorable Judge Rawan Albdeiri. Let that be known. And finally, shout out to my future man because, well, God help you. I don't know you yet, but just in case you're in the crowd, I like flowers, forehead kisses, and winning arguments. Putting it out there. All jokes aside, during my time on the stage, I do want to honor every single graduate here tonight. After the class of 2025 officially walks out of these doors, I genuinely believe the world will change, and the world will change for the better. This stage represents more than just a milestone. It holds hopes, sacrifices, and struggles for so many. So before moving on to celebrate our future, I want to pause to honor the graduates who never had a chance to make it to this stage. Those whose dreams were interrupted by war, those who gave their lives fighting for a more promising future, those taken from this earth far too early, and those fighting unseen battles we know nothing about. This day also belongs to you. So whether you're watching from the comfort of your home, from afar, shining down at us from the stars, or you've made it into the lush gardens of heaven, we see you. We celebrate you. We carry your dreams forward and know this: the world is a brighter, kinder, and better place because you were and are a part of it. And I would be failing at this moment if I didn't speak directly to the parents and parent figures out there. All the nights you stayed awake long after we'd fallen asleep, wrestling with the quiet fear of, did I do enough? Am I doing parenthood right? The ones who wore this guilt like a second skin, who gave and still wondered if it was enough, you are the reason we are here. This day is a tribute to you. Every step we take across this stage is a living testament to you, your sacrifices, and sometimes even unnoticed and invisible labors. I actually have 3 mamas I have to thank: my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. 3 women who did the unthinkable. They fled literal war, clutching 2 toddlers in their arms, chasing a future they couldn't see but believed in anyway. They came to this country not knowing the language. They came not understanding the culture. They came carrying nothing but hope and still choosing to sacrifice their joy, their dreams, their hopes, and everything that they've ever known so that my brother and I could walk a stage just like this one, wearing a graduation gown just like this one, screaming to the world that we lived the American dream. In living the American dream, I've learned that we cannot lose ourselves, our humanity, and our empathy in the process of seeking glory. What is this dream if we lose our compassion, if we become numb to each other's pain? We stand here today not just as graduates, but as witnesses to the same essential truths of existence that bind all of us as one people. Do not fall weak to the quiet ways we've been taught to forget what connects us. Class of 2025, we are old too soon and wise too late. They say that graduation is the start of adulthood, the moment you step into the real world, but for many of us, the real world, synonymous with learning how to survive in chaos, started a long time ago. But in surviving, I have learned that the hardest yet bravest thing you can do is to refuse to let the world harden you. So let me remind you of humanity's similarities to lighten our hearts. The similarities in our shared longing to be seen, in our quiet acts of kindness and our resilience. We all breathe the same air, feel the same warmth of the same sun upon our skin, and look up in awe at the same sky stretched endlessly above us. We all live in the very same earth we find ourselves fighting over. Our hearts beat in the same rhythm. We all carry stories we've never told. We all seek the same universal yearning for dignity, love, and peace. We share in our compassion and the need to love and be loved. We all desire a world where possibilities are endless and an earth that is better for our children than the one we inherited. When the noise fades and the masks fall, the truth stands bare. We are far more alike than we are different. And it is in this truth that hope grows. The hope that in seeing ourselves reflected in each other, we might choose compassion over conflict and peace over turmoil. But even as that truth dares to bloom, the world can seem determined to forget, or to masquerade, I should say. All we seem to see constantly paraded in front of us is a media landscape saturated in images of division, voices training us how to fear, despise, and destroy. We are fed reasons to build enemies from neighbors and to justify wars that bleed and wound us all in the same way. Entire industries profit from our division. Our anger is monetized. Our empathy is suppressed, as if caring is a liability in a world obsessed with power. The truth is, the world will keep offering us easy ways to divide ourselves. Us versus them, this side or that side, my people versus yours, your religion against mine. But the harder thing, the more valiant thing, is to refuse that invitation and to remember that me versus you is a losing battle, and that peace is not defined as the absence of war, but rather, it's the decision to stop inheriting hatred for one another that was never ours to carry. I stand here today as a former foster care youth. I know what it's like to be told who you are before you've had a chance to decide for yourself. To be told that your circumstances, your ethnicity, your religion, are what society will use to manufacture a script of your life. A world that sees you not as a child, but as a risk assessment, where your small hands are not met with protection, but suspicion. A world where it is easier for people to call you broken before they care to ask what broke you. And for a long time, I believed it. I chose to loathe this world that brought me down, to see people with a tainted lens of how I feel they wronged me. I chose to accept systems being broken beyond repair. Before UT, my world was shaped by strict expectations, a fear of questioning authority and a sense of limitation. I arrived here with a perspective that was shaped by necessity and the need to survive rather than by choice or by freedom. Who I was and how I saw the world, weighed against who I am today, is a testament to the value and strength I found in the liberal arts. An education that dismantled the limitations I accepted and replaced them with liberation. It's about thinking critically rather than accepting a fate you feel is written for you. It's about scrutinizing false narratives that ostracize people with different opinions. This education taught me that to hold solidarity with the innocent is not immoral, and has empowered me to ensure that money and power does not dictate truth. But even as I clung to that truth, I couldn't shake the feeling that powerful places were for powerful people. I carried years of hesitation and self-doubt, convinced that institutions like UT weren't built for somebody with my story. Somewhere along the way, I decided to apply to a university that I had convinced myself I was not smart enough for or worthy enough of attending. I told myself that UT was for the people with power, resources, and the kind of connections that comes with knowing that you belong. It was for students who weren't in foster care, whose parents went to college, students who didn't escape war carrying nothing but hope. I told myself that UT was for the people who grew up debating ideas around the dinner table rather than navigating survival. I arrived here not knowing what to do. I was lost, overwhelmed, and I had no idea what my life would amount to. After many tears, lots of pouting, and skipping most of my classes, I mustered up the will to drag myself to one of the liberal arts courses I had been neglecting in the cycle of whining. The professor's lecture that day was deep, and he posed a question to the class to think about before going to his history lesson. He asked us, "What do you owe yourself?" My answer was neither immediate nor easy, but it forced me to stop, reflect, and truly realize what I was doing here. After 3 years here at UT, I've learned that the answer to that question evolves as our lives progress. The College of Liberal Arts has taught me that when the world desires half of you and demands that you hide the other half, we owe it to ourselves to be fully authentic and to challenge the status quo. We owe it to ourselves to realize that scholarship is not confined to ivory towers. We owe it to ourselves to ask harder questions of our classrooms, of our leaders, of our histories, and yes, even of ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to unlearn the shame woven into our skin, our stories, and our names. We owe it to ourselves to question what we are told is inevitable. We owe it to ourselves to want a peace that does not come at the cost of our lives. We owe it to ourselves to realize that the greatest injustices are the false truths that convince us to accept who we are and what we can become based on the limits imposed. I used to believe in those limits. I lived a life where it makes sense that I should be bitter, that I should be lost, that I should be broken, and that I should have given up long before I ever started. I had thought that UT was for the people who had the luxury of dreaming big, not for somebody like me who had spent a lifetime learning how to expect less. But here I am. As we leave COLA tonight, I am reminded of the thinkers that we studied who challenged injustice and altered the future. Remember that with enough fighting, resisting, empathy, and love, we leave here with the conviction to change the world, the narratives, and the systems that try to break us. Class of 2025, with headlines that tell you what to believe, think freely. When society tells you to follow suit or get canceled, or builds walls around speech and claims it is for security, or hands you a script and demands that you recite it, without objection, you must think freely. You must think freely in a world that too often rewards obedience over authenticity. Find power in believing that peace is possible, and not a peace brought through silence, not a peace brought through submission, not a peace brought by weapons or fear or intimidation, but a peace as a decision. that I will not let the world turn me into what it fears. It is standing in the face of a world that profits off of your rage and saying, I choose something different. Because peace and recognizing our shared humanity is not weakness. Peace is the most radical, most dangerous thing you can choose in a world addicted to brutality. Because if we're bold enough to believe that peace is possible, then maybe we're bold enough to believe that anything is possible. In a world that tries to turn our hearts into weapons, the real measure of peace is not what we the real measure of peace is what we refuse to destroy within ourselves to get there. Before I close this moment out, I hope that you've heard one another's laughter tonight, and I hope that joy that we've shared together, the collective light in such a monumental moment in our lives, reminds you of yet another way we share something similar, the same common soul. Class of 2025, the builders, the healers, the peacemakers, go change the freaking world.
Thank you. That was lovely. I will say thank you, Supreme Court Justice Rawan. And now, who's ready for a few more graduates? All right. We will now proceed